It's our world and not a man's world. As we, the African Union ECOSOCC Nigeria, will continue to consider the most sustainable ways of engaging institutions, partners, stakeholders, and citizens on this trajectory of ending sexual and gender-based violence, gender inequality, and expanding women's voices for social justice, action, and not just outreach, is the only way forward.
So this is the duty of the mothers, to make sure that we train our sons and our boy child to let them know that they must respect their sister. When they respect their sister, they will respect their wives.
In order to key to the mandate of ending sexual and gender-based violence in the country, African Union ECOSOCC organized a press conference at Abuja to commemorate the 16 days of activism with the theme, a conversation on the role of media in curbing gender-based violence through the reorientation on gender identities. Adora Onyechere, head Women and Gender Cluster Committee, African Union ECOSOCC Nigeria, emphasized on why media is important in the reorientation of gender-sensitive issue.
The conversation on gender mainstreaming cannot be holistic without the role of the media, which is important as a tool for expanding the discourse, harmonization, and implementation of the policies that drive intervention. The media is a frontline engagement, as the media is also a frontliner in reorientation on social norms, social reforms and advocacy, and gender-sensitive issues. Another issue that borders on sexual and gender-based violence is also political violence against women, sexual harassment against women at workplaces, sex for grades, sexual harassment of minors, forced prostitution, emotional and mental harassment, which border on stigmatization, stereotypical behavior towards survivors or victims, negative and repressive gender narratives, and identity. It is quite concerning for us that the report did not mention the crucial role of the media in achieving even gender equality. This is a huge opportunity that is lost. The data we have show that women only make up 24% of the persons heard, read about, or seen in newspaper, television, and radio news. Even worse, 46% of news stories reinforce gender stereotypes, while only 4% of stories clearly challenge gender stereotypes. Now, women are often portrayed in stereotypical and hypersexualized roles in advertising and the film industry, which has long-term social consequences. I strongly believe, and we strongly believe, as African Union ECOSOCC Nigeria and the Women Affairs and Gender Cluster Committee, that transformative role media can play in achieving gender equality and gender mainstreaming, curbing sexual and gender violence in societies. This is by creating gender-sensitive and gender-transformative content, breaking gender stereotypes by challenging the traditional social and cultural norms and attitudes regarding gender perceptions, both in content, news, and information gathering in the media houses, showing women in leadership roles, experts on the diversity of topics on a daily basis, not as an exception.
Gender-based violence has become a human right. I know fully that the society puts a less regards to women. But what we are saying is the narrative has to be changed, because the women are part of the society. Their creation is not negotiable. It's not out of the negotiations. It's the whole world belongs to all of us, so it's not for men alone. So we are saying that what belongs to them should also be given to them. So there is no need of debating whether women must be empowered or whether women must be given a certain position in terms of affirmative actions. We are saying that what goes to men is also applicable to women as well.
Dr. Ajibike Saratu, country manager, 50 million women in Nigeria, calls on mother to not only train the female child, but also train the male in order to curb this menace.
This is my word to mothers here and those that are out there, because there's a need for us to train the boy child. There is a need for all of us to speak out against gender-based violence, either as a victim or as an advocate. Empowering the woman to stand for herself. When a woman has, she's empowered, she can stand for herself. A lot of women that are going through this violence that we are talking about in their homes is because they are looking at it that, where do I go from here? If I speak up and he kicks me out. Where do I go? They are not empowered. But when a woman is strong on her own, she has her footing, she has her own income, she's able to walk out of any violence, or she's able to speak up from any violence. Also, lastly, I also like to talk about catching the girl child young. Let's fund their skills. There are some of those young ladies, even from primary 5, from GS2, GS3. Let's start catching them young, give them some skill set so that they can be empowered and they are not subjected to any violence from any man at any time, at any point in time.
NOAA, in collaboration with the Peering Advocacy and Advancement Center in Africa and other civil society organizations, organize a stakeholders dialogue on the protection of the vulnerable, expose sexual crimes, support victims of rape and GBV. The outcome of this initiative was the signing of the SGBV pledge document by stakeholders to deploy their skills, power, provide support, and ensure justice for survivors and provide a safe society for all. We have also done advocacy visits to traditional rulers and religious leaders, urging them to play their leading roles in protecting all genders, especially the female.
Dorcas Olariwaju, Voice TV, Nigeria.